Hello, good afternoon, and you're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now with me, Vinny Motiwala, along with me, Cheryl D'Souza as well. Cheryl, a very good afternoon to you, but I'm seeing those flashes on the screen. The rupee hit a 10-month low. Markets have given up their gains as well, so not a very good afternoon in terms of the markets when you see, right?
Absolutely, Vinny. It's not transpiring as a good afternoon when it comes to the benchmark indices. Also, the macro picture is looking a tad bit weak in today's trading session. So yes, so let's take a look and take a deeper dive exactly what is happening when it comes to the markets. Yes, like I said, macro also not looking that good. As you can see on your screen, rupee 83.14 to the dollar. It has actually hit an over 10-month low against the dollar. But one of the facts that you need to take note of is the fact is that rupee is not the only currency globally that is weakened against the dollar. Euro is at a 3-month low. Australian dollar as well as Chinese yuan, you have yen, all of them have weakened against the dollar. Dollar index itself is currently trading at a 6-month high. So yes, that's one of the reasons why we are seeing pressure here. Also, if you look at the crude prices, it has hit a highest level since November 2022. So you have Brent crude that surpassed the $90 to the barrel mark, and it's actually hovering in that region today as well. So that all of that actually does put pressure on our balance as well. And looking at the benchmark indices right now, it's near the day's lowest point. Nifty briefly actually slipped below the 19,500 mark as well. Take a look at what Nifty Bank is doing, because that one is seeing a pain much more sharper than the benchmark indices. If you look at the Nifty Bank, it's trading low by about 0.7%, and the broader markets that were shining bright throughout the course of this week. In fact, they have actually turned negative as well. So you have mid-cap as well as small-cap index hovering around the day's lowest point. Let's take a look at the advanced decline ratio. It's a different picture of what you saw in the morning. Now you have the favor tilted in the favor of the decliners. So you can see that in the advanced decline ratio as well. Talking about the sectoral indices, then almost all the sectoral indices are in the negative territory, barring the defensives, that's FMCG as well as pharma. They are holding on to some shade of green as of now, but they are significantly off the day's highest point. Talking about the top sectoral losers, then metal is the top sectoral loser, followed by PSU Bank Index, IT Index, Realty. All of them are seeing pressure in today's trading session. So that's the way how the markets are looking like for now, Winnie. And it is not only a pressure that is there on the equities market. We are also seeing a pressure on the currency market, while the commodity market is having a good ride.
Absolutely. Surely keeping an eye out on the markets, and whether they actually end in the next couple of hours is going to be important. Will we be able to sustain the 19,500 on the Nifty is a key factor to watch out for as well. But on that note, let's get started with the stocks that are buzzing in trade, either on the back of news flows or on the back of technicals. And on the technical front, today we're joined by Sumeet Mulchhandani, while from the research team we have Lisa as well as Mamakshi joining in with us. A very good afternoon to all three of y'all. And as always, I'm going to be starting with the first stock that is in focus. We're going to talk about Voltas today. We are seeing an up move coming in the stock because we've seen Motilal Oswal has actually come out with a note on this where they're maintaining a buy rating, and they've given a target price of 1,000 rupees per share for Voltas. Now, what they're saying is that they expect the RAC, that's the room AC segments, market share at around 21 to 22% in FY24 and FY25. Furthermore, the EMPS segments, that's the electric manufacturing and services segment for the company, that's expected to see a recovery as well, and that will be something that will be aiding the growth for Voltas going forward in terms of a strong order book as well. That could be something that will be supporting Voltas. That they're highlighting in terms of the lower ad spends, sales promotion being lower as well in terms of the expenses there. That will be a driver for the margin expansion going forward. And in terms of long term, they are quite positive. They believe that it will outweigh the near-term challenges that it could face. And look at the stock today. It hit a 5-month high intraday as well. They've advanced for the third consecutive week that we're seeing coming in for Voltas. So keeping an eye on this one, trading with gains of almost 3% and more than 3% as of now.
All right, moving on, then let's talk about Voltas with you as well, Sumit, because you are tracking this one on the charts. Do you think that today's rise is a reason why you should look to book out profits on Voltas, or do you think that now is the tide, it's basically showing a new tide coming in for Voltas where it will actually rise from here on, because in the last 6 months it's given absolutely no returns?
Hi, good afternoon to all. So if any short-term player is there, I would give the resistance level that is around 925 to 935. This is the strong resistance zone. We would advise to book profit. But if any weekly closing we are getting above this level, then we would just go for the next 3 to 6 months holding period. And next 3 to 6 months, we are expecting the target of 1060 and 1140 levels. So any type of player, short term or the medium. So here one can trail the stop loss around 858. So accordingly one can book. But view is positive.
All right, moving on, let's talk about SREI SGS because that particular counter has hit a record high level in today's trading session. At one point in time when I checked SREI SGS, was trading higher by about 9.5%. Right now, still holding on to good gains of about 5.7% despite markets being pretty weak. The reason why this particular counter rose to its all-time high in today's trading session is the fact that they informed the exchanges that they've completed the acquisition of 51% stake in the electromedical device maker, that is Jory Digital Healthcare, and that acquisition was for about 230 crore rupees. The acquisition now will enhance SREI SGS's capabilities in the electromedical device segment. Also, the company has said that the acquisition will be earnings accretive. So on back of that, you can see the stock actually seeing a good run in today's trading session. Like I mentioned, record high, touched a high of as much as 9.5%. Right now, it's trading high by about 5.7% in an otherwise weak market.
Let's move on to the next one on the technicals, and that is RCF, the chemical player, Russia Chemicals and Fertilizers. Sumeet, on the technical front, how is this one looking like? Because yes, we've seen a 27% return in the last 6 months. It's as of now, today also trading at the highest level we're seeing in the last 6 months. What is the view on this one?
Yes, in the March, it made a bottom of around 90 levels. Afterward, it touched the level of 120, but it was a strong resistance zone. So last week only it has crossed, and today we are getting the follow-up and going ahead for the new highs. I think so it is 52-week high, but momentum is positive, so one can ride the trend and trail with the stop loss. If any new entry is there, we would just suggest a stop loss of around 113 for the target of 160 to 180. So just hold for 1 to 2 months. One can get a good profit of around 20 to 30% here.
All right, so that's the take coming in on RCF. And today, not only RCF is a buzz, actually the entire fertilizer pack is actually soaring in today's trading session, Vinny. Lisa, let's talk about NBCC. Why is this one buzzing?
Is in focus as it won an order from Kerala Housing State Board, and this is for the development of a 17.9 acres land, and they have signed an MOU with the Kerala Housing Board. So NBCC, they have in the early morning trade they hit around 6%. It surged around 6% to hit a 52-week high. And since then, it has cooled off its gains in the light of the overall market declining, but it's still outperforming the Nifty indices. And the stock is on a surge in the last 1 month. Also, it has risen around 25%. It has won back-to-back orders. Just a few days back in September, also they had won an order worth around 20 crore from the Government of India for renovation and construction at Mint in Mumbai. And in August, towards the end of August, also they bagged an order of around 66 crore from the Indian Medical Association, and this is at New Delhi. So the order is expected to be executed in the next 30 months. So that is why we can see NBCC, it's in focus today on the back of an order win.
Okay, NBCC in focus on the back of an order win. But KRBL, Sumeet, on the charts, what is the indication coming in? Today we saw a sudden spike up coming in the stock at somewhere around 11. And today, as of now, when you look at it, the stock is up around 7 to 8% intraday. What is the highlight coming in for KRBL? Last 6 months also, it has surely picked up some bit of pace there. What is the view on this one now?
Stock was on consolidation from last November only. You can say there is a zone of 330 to 430. So today's session, it has crossed its daily resistance as well as the weekly resistance also. So if we are getting any weekly closing above the 440 levels, then looks attractive for the round bottom pattern, we can say. But one can keep the targets of around 550 and 640 here. So if anybody wants to add to the portfolio, one can keep a stop loss of 380, that is around 10%, and can expect the profit till the levels of 640. So add in the portfolio.
All right, moving on then, that's a take coming on KRBL. The Vamakshi SpiceJet, this one is actually flying pretty high in today's trading session. And what could be the reason for it?
Well, Cheryl, not just today, the stock has been in focus over the last couple of days. Now, earlier this week, the company announced the allotment of 4.81 crore equity shares on a preferential basis to 9 of its aircraft lessors. And this was done in order to clear outstanding dues of almost 231 odd crores. And now, yesterday, the NCLT has asked SpiceJet to resolve its issues with its lessors while hearing the insolvency plea that was filed by Celestial Aviation. The NCLT additionally has also deferred the hearing for initiating insolvency proceedings against SpiceJet to 15th of September. So all in all, on the back of this news flow, we have SpiceJet in focus. As of now, the stock is soaring in trade today, nearly 16% higher.
Okay, let's move on and talk about the next stock that is in focus, and that's stock number 7. Let's look at what is coming in over there, and also how the markets are doing as of now as well. So let's move on to the next one. We have Andhra Papers is what you're highlighting, Sumit, on the charts. What is the view on this one? Where do you see it headed in the next couple of months?
As per the technicals, it has given on the weekly time frame, it has given a flag breakout, then inverted head and shoulders pattern, then a trend line breakout. So all are there. So all are the positive outcomes. So one can add for a good profit till the levels of 650 and 700 levels. So current market price is around 500. So just add to the portfolio and keep the stop loss of 450 here.
The next one that is in focus, and we're talking about Safari Industries. Why is this one in focus? Because what we're seeing in a block deal that happened yesterday, that SBI Life Insurance Company has picked up around 2.05 lakh shares in Safari Industries via an open market transaction at a price of 3,775 rupees per share, which is amounting to a total amount that is going to be of around 77 crores. While what we saw was Investcorp Private Equity Fund sold around 2.14 lakh shares in the company, and because of that, we are seeing this change of hands. Some block deal that has happened over here. Safari Industries is in focus. Yes, we saw a sharp spike up coming in, given up those morning gains, but trading with gains of holding on to gains of around 0.5% in trade as of now.
All right, let's move on then and let's get you a big ET now exclusive story. Incremental CRR may continue for a few more weeks. ET now has learned from sources that RBI is meeting today and its decision may be announced soon. Ankur Mishra is here with all the details. Ankur, I'm sure all of them were waiting for the review meet of RBI, but what are you picking up from your sources with this regard?
Yes, sources say that Reserve Bank of India is going to review the situation on incremental CRR very soon. In fact, if sources are to be believed, the decision might be taken today itself and the announcement may happen maximum by tomorrow. Remember, Reserve Bank of India has imposed incremental CRR on banks, and this was a targeted tool by Reserve Bank of India because they found that liquidity situation has been in surplus, especially after 2,000 rupee notes were deposited in the system, and therefore this targeted approach was taken by Reserve Bank of India. But you would remember then on August 21, first time there was a situation when the liquidity went into deficit, but after that the situation improved. Many of the bankers we have spoken to have told us that they expect Reserve Bank of India to continue this incremental CRR for few more weeks, and we need to wait and see what decision actually Reserve Bank of India considers. If you see the liquidity situation, it has already been back into the surplus, but all will depend on the assessment of Reserve Bank of India on incremental CRR.
Absolutely, all eyes are going to be on that, the incremental CRR, because that is when the announcement was, when we saw the fall coming in and the Nifty Bank and PSU banks as well, that time when that announcement was made by the governor. But keeping an eye out on that meet tomorrow, and maybe it could continue for a few more weeks as well, is what we are understanding. But let's move on and talk about the next stock that is in focus. At stock number 9, we have EID Parry. Sumit, on the charts, what are you picking up for this one? What is the target price that you're keeping on this now?
Sugar stocks are in buzz, and as per the technicals, I'm seeing a good breakout in the stock. It was in the consolidation and made a base around the 470 levels. So current market price is around 518, and it is almost up by 7% today. But today the main thing is it is crossing the 50 moving average, 200 moving average, and 100 moving average also. So closing above. We are expecting a good breakout till the levels of 580 and 620 here, and one can keep a stop loss of around 480.
moving on then, let's talk about ABB because this particular counter has hit its highest level since August 11th in an intraday trading basis. And the reason why ABB is a buzz in today's trade session is because Jefferies has come up with a very positive note on ABB India. What they are saying, they're maintaining a buy stance with the target price of 5,260 rupees per share. As you can see on your screen, significant upside is what Jefferies is expecting when it comes to ABB. What they're saying is that the strong order outlook should ensure companies' execution remains in double digit. What they're also noting is the fact the energy efficiency requirements puts ABB in a very sweet spot given the electrification, motion as well as automation portfolio. Therefore, they are maintaining a buy stance. They are giving a buy stance to that particular counter with the target set at around 5,260 rupees per share. And you can see ABB, despite the market weakness, it is trying to hold on to gains of approximately 1% as we speak.
Let's move on and talk about GM and Pfaudler then, Sumit. And this one in the last 1 month has seen very strong gains coming in, 20% almost returns in the last 1 month, especially in the last couple of days. Also, when you look at it, look at the jump up that has come in as well. What are the charts now indicating for this? Where should we be expecting it to move now?
There is a huge gap upside, so we are expecting that to be filled. If you see the candles, it is giving a strong breakout and almost heading towards the gap filling. So we are expecting the first target as 1900 and second it can reach to the previous high of around, that is 2100. So one can keep a stop loss of around 1600. 1600 was the previous resistance level and now it will act as a support. So just hold on and ride the trend.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Jio Financials then. Lisa, definitely this particular stock has been the talk of the town ever since it's been listed. What's the news this time around?
Right, Cheryl, it's been in news since 25th August since its listing, and this time the news is that it's going to be excluded from Nifty 50 as well as other indices on NSE with effect from tomorrow, that is 7th September. And the decision to exclude this stock is because it has not hit the price band in the last 2 trading sessions, and even if it hits the price band today, even then it will not, the decision to exclude it will not be deferred further. That's what the NSE exchange has said. Well, with the certainty of the exclusion, the passive selling, as per Nuvama Alternative Research, they have calculated that it will be at around $324 million. So, because of this news, shares of Jio Financials, they opened 2% lower in early morning trade, and today is the last day to trade on Nifty as well as other NSE indices. And while BSE and Sensex, they have removed Jio Financial Services, still MSCI as well as FTSE will continue to include the stock in their indices. So, well, we can see Jio Financials, it's trading lower. Even as we speak, it's down around to 1.6%.
Okay, that is Jio Financials for y'all. But let's move on and talk about Cera Sanitaryware. And Sumit, when you look at it in this, today the stock is down. Last week also we had seen overall the stock was down. What is the view on this one? Is it time that maybe we will be seeing some correction? Because last 6 months, obviously, we've seen strong returns of 40-44%. Maybe time to start booking your profits.
Yes, 100%. It is time to book profit. Always booking profit is better than looking profit. So as per the technical, it has formed a negative sign that is called evening star, and today we are getting the confirmation. In the current session, it is down by 2.5% and still losing more. So we are expecting a further downside. So book your profit at the current market price. We are expecting the levels of 8,500 to touch here.
So that's the take coming in on Cera, but let's move on. Ramakshi, and let's talk about Torrent Pharma. Just like Jio Financial, Torrent Pharma has also been in news for the last 2 weeks, and this time around, why is it?
Well, Cheryl, the stock is in focus on the back of a brokerage note that came in from Nomura. Now, this brokerage note is around the potential acquisition of Cipla by Torrent Pharma, and what Nomura has highlighted is that this could be a big deal. They believe that this acquisition would make strategic sense, and in fact this acquisition will require large debt as well as equity dilution is what they have pointed out. Now both Torrent Pharma as well as Cipla have very strong cash flows, and in fact the Torrent Pharma also has a high promoter stake, so which is why it leads Nomura to believe that this deal could be consummated. They're expecting Torrent promoters to retain nearly 48 to 63% stake in the company. So all in all, given all these factors, Nomura has gone ahead and maintained its buy rating. But apart from that, they've gone ahead and hiked their target price from 1,838 rupees per share to 2,199 rupees per share, which is a significant upside from the current odd levels. So on the back of this brokerage note, we have Torrent Pharma in focus. As you can see, the stock is trading high by almost 3%.
Okay, let's move on and talk about two other stocks, that is NTPC and NHPC. Both these power stocks are in focus. We've seen CLSA that has come out with a note on both these stocks, and this is actually on the power demand, because yes, we've seen a spike in the power demand in the last couple of years. These stocks have already seen a very sharp run up as well, and obviously let's not forget El Nino, that is also there, so that low base effect is going to be coming in for these power stocks as well. And August, that has been the driest August that we've seen in 122 years, and that will be driving the power demand spike as well. And normally August is not supposed to be where the power demand is high, but because of the lower rains, we've seen an increase in the power demand. So even the IPPs are having a ball, and election risk is ahead of them as well. So they prefer inexpensive and high dividend yield regulated utilities in the power sector, that is NHPC and NTPC are coming in as their preferred bet. As of now, NTPC is down almost 1.5%, but NHPC is holding on to gains of 0.8% almost.
All right, lower than expected rain definitely has led to an increase in the power demand, but also the fact that we'll have lower than expected rains also is going to disrupt production, and that's exactly what is happening when it comes to sugarcane production. The reason why the sugar prices, if you see domestically, is at a 6-year high. Globally, the sugar prices are at 11-year high. On back of that, that puts our sugar companies in a very sweet spot. So one of the reasons why is that limited rainfall in the country is key in the key growing region has raised the production concern for the upcoming season, and which could add to food inflation, as well as discourage the government from going ahead and allowing sugar exports. And therefore, this is one of the reasons why you are seeing the prices see a spike, given the fact that there will be limited production globally. On back of that, you have Balrampur Chini, Sri Renuka Sugar, Dalmia Bharat, as well as Dwarike Sugar, all of them seeing a spike in today's trading session. So yes, definitely sugar is in a sweet spot, and Vinny, it's time for you also to go sugar-free.
Time for me to go sugar-free. That's a tough task. I don't mind. I'm going to be eating sugar as much as and enjoying the sweet rally as well, but I'm going to be enjoying the sugar rush as well then. But let's move on and talk about Grasim on the charts, Sumit. And what are you expecting in terms of the charts here? Just yesterday we saw Grasim hit a 52-week high. Today it's a bit subdued in trade as well. What is your view on the technicals?
Yes, it has hit, but it is a case of the rejection. If you will see the same zone, 1860 to 1870, this is the fourth time it has got the rejection, and today's candle is a full bearish candle. So it is a perfect short candidate as per me. So till the time it is not sustaining above the 1870 levels, we would not suggest to carry forward or make a new entry. So wait till for the new entry, and if any short player is there, one can expect a downside till the levels of 1765, which is a 100 moving average. So keep a stop loss of today's high as a stop loss 1860, and downside target will be 1765.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Grasim. But Lisa, let's talk about Vedanta, and why is this one in the spotlight today?
Well, Vedanta is in focus because it regained control of the Zambian copper mines, and this was after the dispute with ZCCM Investments. So the government decision in favor of the copper mine, that will help Vedanta restart the operations at the mine. Now, KCM, that is Konkona copper mines, that is a world-class asset, and it has reserves of around 16 million tons of contained copper. Now, do remember that copper is it will be used for future technologies, so that will bode well for Vedanta. And also another news coming in is that Vedanta is in talks with Standard Chartered Bank for obtaining $1.3 billion loan, so that could give respite concerning given the concerns of its debt woes that the company is facing. So this news, as well as Zambian's return of the asset, the copper mines, that is coming at a time when company's debt woes is affecting its credit ratings. So that is why Vedanta is in focus. It was up in early morning trade, but since then it has cooled off its gains.
Okay, and with that, viewers, we're going to sip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be continuing with the stock journey after the break as well.